Hi, I'm Mike Morales here in San Antonio, where you're looking at our special Sipping Off the Cuff with our tequila tryouts. And joining us in New York is
Rebecca Seeger. Hi,
Rebecca.
everyone.
Hi, and Rebecca. Some of you who follow us or follow Facebook, you might recognize Rebecca. She's a special correspondent with Fox News Latino, and you're getting a hold of us in beautiful New York. How's the weather out there?
It's freezing today. It's 44 degrees. So I woke up this morning. Yesterday it was beautiful, and it's just kind of been dipping up and down. But today it's freezing. So
Well,
I'm not a happy camper today.
here in Texas, we only have two types of weather. We have hot and damn hot. So,
Yeah. Okay.
right
Well,
now it's just hot
yeah.
and steamy, but we got to live with it.
No, it's nice.
Rebecca, you reached out to us and you wanted to throw your hat in the ring. We are looking for new tequila tasters for a 2017 Sipping Off the Cuff program, and you volunteered.
Yes.
What are we tasting with you today? What do you want
Okay.
us to?
So today I have the Don Julio 70, which you can see here.
Oh,
Which,
okay.
so it's a añejo, but it's a clear añejo. As you can see, it doesn't have the normal yellow kind of tint. They've purified it supposedly. That's the story, and they're sticking to it.
Okay.
And so that's supposed to take out some of the preservatives, but still give you the full body flavor of an añejo, which is my favorite. And I should say, I started drinking tequila before I ever met you. The first time I ever had tequila, I was down in Tijuana, and we were at a restaurant, and we were having carnitas. It's Carnitas Uruguapan, which is like an incredible restaurant in Tijuana. And I had never had tequila, and I was with someone from Mexico City, and this is probably about 10 or 15 years ago, I would say.
Uh-huh.
And so we had this beautiful, huge lunch, and then afterwards he said, well, we all have to have a tequila. And I had the traditional vision that you were just going to then have to shoot this tequila, and
Lime
I go,
salt
oh, God, no.
Lime salt
So
and shoot it.
Yeah, yeah. So he ordered this beautiful tequila, and he said, no, 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 it's like a digestivo, you're supposed to sip it. And have never been a big drinker, and I really fell in love with my first, drink other than a glass of wine. And I've just been a kind of a tequila person ever since. And then when I interviewed you, I started to really kind of have a different appreciation for tequila too.
Well,
So
I know you and I talked periodically, and you turned me on to Martin San Roman.
yes,
Who,
he's finally releasing it. Yeah.
yeah. He's a. First of all, I think it's interesting that you talk about the cuisine in Tijuana. A lot of people aren't aware that there's a big cuisine renaissance going on in
Sure.
Tijuana.
And all through Baja, all through you have the wine valley, which was always there, but now these wineries are all owned by local Mexicans. There was a point at which many of them were Italians or Americans, and now they're small farms with chefs that are kind of attached to them. So it's pretty cool.
Yeah, and I know that you and I talked about Martin's añejo, and I reached
Yeah.
out to him, and I guess he wasn't ready to bring it
Yeah.
to market. But I understand now that I think he's got a restaurant in San Diego, or he's venturing into the United States, and I know there's tequilas available. I haven't been able to have any yet. You've been the only one that I know of who's had it. And I think we froze up. Ah,
Little towns in Acapulco, and caused a lot of flooding and mudslides. We were able to go, and it was indigenous food, and he was there, and he was introducing it there in Mexico, but to bring to the United States is a whole other different situation. But yeah, it's a very nice tequila. I did also talk to you, I think, when I was doing a story about Casamigos, when George
oh
Clooney.
yeah. We still haven't received any samples from those
Yeah,
guys.
that was a tough one. That was a tough nut to crack. I really pushed them. I finally got to taste the Blanco, the Reposado, and the Añejo from there. I say stick with the Añejo, but I do see it occasionally. I see people serving it in bars. It's okay. It's not it's not a bad tequila. I mean, I wouldn't say, it's okay. It's all right. But I did meet Randy Gerber, I have to tell you, at a
Oh,
party. I told him, I met Cindy Crawford actually first, and then I said, I tasted your husband's tequila. She said, Randy, come over. Rebekah tasted your tequila. You have to, what did you think? What did you think? And of course, I'm like stuck in a corner. Oh, it was great. I love the añejo.
yeah.
Instead
Well,
of,
you always
yeah.
fall for the one that's the easiest
Yeah, the easiest one. I'm
to
sure they're
back
most
up.
right, and they're most proud of that one. I'm sure.
Oh,
So
good. Well, good.
yeah,
They have a lot. They've been very successful, and they're reaching out to a market that that everybody can reach. So
yeah,
more power to them.
yeah.
Now,
I think they're trying. Yes. Okay.
when
So you want
when
to taste?
you
No.
gravitate toward tequila, what which ones? And I know you're fairly new to them, but I know you were exposed to añejos, but do you prefer those over the other ones, or do you have is it the first thing that you look at? You go, oh, let me try your añejo.
I mean, no. I mean, if I'm really gonna try a tequila, I think the best way is actually to try the blanco first, because it's a kind of telltale sign. It may not get any better after that, and if it's really, really not a good blanco, I mean, the chances are you go to Reposado, then you go to Añejo, it's not going to significantly change if the base note and the young start of that tequila is not very good. But I mean, ultimately, I'll go with an Añejo, especially if I don't know the tequila. It's kind of like a go-to place.
Okay.
But I'm always kind of excited to try. I kind of like the light, if it's a good, light, crisp Blanco, I like that. I might have it on the rocks as opposed to served up, although I usually just have tequila served up. And then it depends on kind of my the evening, whether if it's a start of the evening or the end of the evening, I'll go Blanco or Añejo. But I mean, generally speaking, I probably veer more toward like the Añejo or even a Mezcal that's a little bit older too.
Oh, okay. Now, walk me through the Don Julio 70. I can tell you
Okay.
that I've had other tequilas that are clarified,
Yes.
but I have never tried the Don Julio. So walk me through it. What kind of notes are you getting in the aromas? And that's a champagne glass, correct?
Yeah, this is a champagne glass. So
Okay.
so their spiel is that there's a hint of vanilla in it.
Mm-hmm.
You definitely can taste that. I think though it's a pretty spicy. I think it has a very spicy aftertaste. It's warm, but there's a bite to the aftertaste to me.
Okay. And what do you get on the nose? What do you get on the aroma before you swallow?
Um, there's some kind of fruit there that's pretty light, maybe a little nutty, but I mean, you can smell the vanilla too. I mean,
Mm-hmm.
the vanilla is kind of more in the middle, maybe in the taste, and then I get this spice in the back of my tongue, and then by the time it goes down my throat, and it's a nice warm kind of meld of all of those.
Okay, so would you say that's called a finish, by the way? It's very very similar to wine. So I know that you've had
Right.
you've had wine tastings. You've
Yeah,
been to those.
done wine
So
tasting.
all the nomenclature is all the same.
Right.
The nose is the aroma, the
Sure.
structure, that kind of thing is the mouth feel.
Yeah.
Um,
Pretty full-bodied. I mean, you can tell. So it's been aged 18 months in
Mhm.
oak barrels. So it's somewhere between, it's not it's not a full 2 years, but it's much longer than or not much, but maybe 6 months longer than a normal añejo. It doesn't without the kind of because it's missing the normal kind of whatever that creates that yellow full body flavor.
it's the barrel. Yeah.
It's barrel.
Yeah.
There's something about it that definitely doesn't. It's not as full bodied as I think it would be were it not a clear. And you can definitely taste the difference. So it's kind of an interesting. It's an interesting take on having like a nice old tequila without having it be too full bodied or too heavy. Although that can be very nice.
Now, what can you get any wood notes out of it? just out of curiosity, do you smell any or can you taste any? Because you've had plenty of añejos at this point, so
Yeah.
you know when it's barrel aged, you as you say, it's more full bodied. You get a
Yeah,
little
I
oak, a
think you
little
can
wood.
smell. It's a lighter oak. It's a lighter oak. It's less smoky than a
Mhm.
normal añejo.
What about on the flavor, on the flavor profile?
Yeah, it's probably a little bit oakier when you taste it, as opposed to when you smell it. Yeah,
So that's good. So what they're doing is they're clarifying it. They're stripping the color out of it,
yeah.
but not all the some of the nuances are still there.
Some of the nuances are still there. Yeah, and it's kind of a nice. I guess I would say ultimately it's a nice blend of almost. I wouldn't go blanco, but it's like a reposado, but a little bit deeper.
Okay. Okay, kind of where somewhere in between a repo and an añejo, but not quite there. Yeah, it kind of it's trying to decide what it wants to be when it grows up. But
No, exactly. It's an undecided voter.
what's the do you know what the generally speaking what the price points are in your area for a bottle
I,
like that?
I don't know. This is, I would say probably, I could be completely off. I would say maybe it's $30 a bottle for this. Am I completely off?
I'm not sure. It's been so long since I've been into a liquor store myself because
Well, I
all I
was
got
going
to
to
do
say
is
that sounds pretty horrible, but I do get lots of things sent to me, so it's hard for me to know exactly. But that's a good, I mean, I think we should be kind of more aware of I mean, it's New York. It's probably more here than it would be anywhere else in the country, maybe other than Los Angeles. But even alcohol here in general in New York is more expensive than Los Angeles. And I thought Los Angeles was expensive. But a nice tequila in Los Angeles is still less expensive than it is here in New York.
yeah, the numbers that we get is that the largest consumer of 100% agave tequila is in New York City. The largest numbers.
They're
Um,
not eating it with the Mexican food, though.
no, they're
Because there's no
probably not.
I don't know what they're eating with it, but it's not good Mexican.
So what would you pair that with? I mean, obviously you're into the full cuisine. Would you pair this with something? Is it what kind of advice would you give the average consumer when they're looking? A lot more people are entertaining at home now. I mean,
Sure.
it's just getting like you say, it's just getting more expensive. So
Yeah.
what would you do with that
This,
tequila?
I mean, this is a great tequila after a really nice meal. And not a light meal, not a tapas meal, but something that really you've spent some time and energy with. It doesn't have to be a heavy meal necessarily, but something that is a full meal
Hmm.
and finish with this would be perfect. I have started the evening with this, and it can be a little bit much to start with. But it's fine. I mean, I enjoy it anytime. But this is a great tequila to have after a really nice meal. I would never mix this tequila with anything else.
Oh,
I don't
okay.
think. I think that would kind of be a way.
Yeah, I was gonna. That was my next question. Would you make a cocktail with it?
I don't think I would make a cocktail out of this. I would make a cocktail. I tend to lean toward more of a blanco or a reposado for that. With this, I mean, I guess maybe a palomita. Maybe, I mean, I'd keep it pretty light, whatever it is. I would maybe just do a little lime juice, maybe a little squirt of grapefruit juice. I mean, it's with this. This is really nice alone. So I don't know if I would necessarily do anything with it.
Okay.
But yeah, so I would, and I'm sure for the price, people don't want to mix it. You want to kind of keep that. That's how Casamigos was perfect for cocktails.
Yeah, I bet it was. I've had the reposado very once, and it was a small. It wasn't enough to make a decision from.
Yeah.
But it wasn't anything I wanted to write home about. So.
Yeah.
But
Yeah,
that
for sure.
I just didn't spend time with it.
Yeah, for sure.
If there's one thing that you want the public out there to know about Don Julio 70, what would you say to them?
I mean, I think the thing is, people are so concerned these days with what the preservatives are and things, and to feel like maybe there's one more filter that's filtering out any kind of whatever they. I think that it may be imagined, but I think that's the one thing. This feels like you're drinking a really healthy, version of an añejo, and there it's going through one more process of elimination, and you're getting to really just a pure tequila, pure agave, as much as you can. So I would say that. I would say probably if you're interested in moving toward spending more money on a good tequila, this is probably a good place to go without having to go crazy and take too many risks. This, you can kind of, Don Julio's a pretty standard. I mean, it's better than Patron. You're definitely stepping it up. And this is a tequila for somebody who's really likes to drink tequila straight, nothing, not even on the rocks.
Do you see perhaps women gravitating toward the tequila more so than men, or not?
I think, unfortunately, I don't know if I see a gender difference, but I have to say, I still talk to so many people that don't understand tequila, and it always amazes me. I think we are, if you Google anything about tequila, 90% of what you'll see are on men's sites, on Esquire, GQ, Rolling Stone, a gentleman's cocktail, a gentleman's drink. So I think women are slow to catch up with this. American women, I think, Latinas know the tequila, and they're not. Yes, so it's a little bit different. But in the, I guess, look, in the last, how long, you and I have known each other now for about 5 years,
yeah,
I would say, and at that time, there's definitely been a shift of people getting more and more familiar with tequila and understanding, but there's still a lot of people who think you're supposed to do shots of tequila. It always surprises me. And I mean, even in my work, we went out for like a work event, and it was like, that was what we, the VP of our site ordered shots for everyone. And he was being really nice, but it was like this expectation that you do the shots. And, he's Puerto Rican, so, still, yeah, I mean, there's still kind of this reputation that unfortunately it has, but, slow and steady.
Well, I am glad. First of all, let me say I really enjoyed your walking me through this, because I've never had it, and I'm sure some of our viewers who will see this tryout have never
Sure.
had it either. I would really like to try it now with your descriptions and to see where it would go. I have had others from other brands, and that's the last one that I haven't had in order for me to come up with some kind of a recommendation. But on your recommendation, I would try it. And
yeah, I think it's worth a try. Absolutely.
Okay. Yeah, and again,
you would like it.
Okay. Well, then I'll take your word for it. I appreciate you spending some time with us. Just so you guys know, this is Rebekah Sager in New York. I'm Mike Morales here in San Antonio. You've been watching a special tequila tryout of Sipping Off the Cuff with our gal, hopefully our gal in New York. And I am going to just remember to sip wisely, and just like we say, even in Spanish, tomar sabiamente. All right.